What's up, everyone? How's the new camera setup look? Everybody see me good? I'm gonna share my screens in a couple of seconds. But in this video, I wanna talk about how a lot of traders, everybody wants to be successful, everybody wants to make consistent money, but not a lot of people have the right mindset to achieve this. And this video is gonna explain real life and trading examples to really shift our mindset and focus on how to think and act to achieve these results. And we're going to go over the technical analysis. I'm going to break down some trades, some charts, and we're also going to go over specific mental thought processes and routines that I want everybody watching this to understand, implement, and practice on a daily basis if you want to be a successful trader and see these proper results that we're aiming for. What separates a struggling versus a successful trader is part strategy. You can't go into the market blind. You need to know what you're doing. But a big portion of that comes from their mentality and their emotions. To fix your trading, you first need to fix your mind. And I think this goes with anything in life. To be successful in business, sports, trading, you need to have the right mindset. And this video is going to go over that. So I want you all to think of trading as a mental war or a battle. It's a zero-sum game. And what I mean by that is when somebody else wins, somebody else is on the other side of the trade losing. We're competing against other traders who are more educated than us, they're more intelligent, and they're better capitalized. They have more sophisticated tools, they have fatter pockets, and we're trading against these other people. A lot of people think they trade the market and they're trading against Apple, Tesla, the S&P 500, which is somewhat true, but we're really fighting and battling against other traders who have the same intention as us, and what they want to do is they want to outsmart us and beat us so they can make money and they can take our money. How do we win this battle? How do we win the war? Is we need the fire inside us to trade at our highest level and fight the battle with more discipline and patience than the other opponents. I think this is very key because it's something that other traders lack, and why they fail at this war or this battle is because they lack patience and they lack discipline. I'm always one to stress about psychology, which is why I make these videos, but we must fight the battle and we get an edge against other traders if we could sit on our hands and if we're more disciplined and patient than the rest. Think of other traders as the enemy, right? We're going to war against the enemy, and we want to defeat them to take their money. We're competing against real traders. They have the same intention as us. If I'm looking on the S&P 500 chart and everybody starts seeing the market come up, right? Let's not even mention that we have a supply zone here, but we just see the market coming up. Automatically, subconsciously, our brain is going to try to figure out how we can be a buyer and ways that we could be long. However, if we add the context of a supply zone up here, we know if we're battling against buyers and sellers, and in this case, if we're a buyer, we're battling against other sellers, we know as a buyer, if we're inside of a supply zone, we don't have an upper advantage or an upper edge to beat those sellers who are selling inside of a supply zone. So a trade like this, I would be very cautious to the upside, and I would be a little fearful because sellers have the upper advantage. And this mental battle, mental sport, those who are going to win are the ones who are mentally stronger and emotionally stronger than the rest. It's not as easy as most online portray it to be because our emotions are our greatest enemy, and we're humans. It's natural to have emotions. It's not like we could hide them completely, but the ones who are mentally stronger than the rest will win and will have an advantage. I don't care if you're talking about somebody on Wall Street. I don't care if you're talking about another retail trader. The traders that I personally know on Wall Street have such a sick mental game, and they do not let the market affect them at all. They could sit on their hands all day long, not put a trade on, but when they see something they like, they put it on and they get rewarded severely for it. Versus other people, I see it in the trading community all the time. People are putting 100 different trades on for no reason. That's not being patient. That's not being disciplined. That's just putting a trade on, not being mentally strong. And that's like you going into the battle unprepared. If we go into war, if we go into a battle unprepared, we're going to get destroyed. We're going to lose. And our account is going to get killed. So please come to the market prepared every single day. Imagine going to fight a war or a battle with no weapon or tool that's going to give you that advantage. That's how I see a lot of traders trading. And I'm not afraid to admit it. When I first started trading, I would go into war blindly. I would go with no tools, no edge, no weapon that's going to really give me that advantage against other buyers and sellers that I'm competing against. So that's how many traders are. Many of them lose. Think of the market as a battle and really deep down ask yourself, are you prepared mentally and emotionally with the right tools and weapons that's going to make you win the battle, defeat other traders? Because if we defeat those other traders, we're going to make money. To get better with anything in life, and especially trading, we have to learn a concept, we have to practice that concept, and then we have to repeat this process over and over until it becomes subconscious and second nature to us. So I want you to view the market and view each trade as a negotiation on the battlefield. Think of the chart as the battlefield, and every time price moves up, buyers are negotiating with sellers, and every time the market moves down, sellers are negotiating with buyers. The stock market is just like any other marketplace. It's where buyers and sellers basically are agreeing or exchanging goods, and in this case, it's whatever instrument we're trading, and we're negotiating for the best price. So if we took each trade with the mindset of us either losing money or the other person we're buying or selling from is going to lose money, then we're going to be more focused on making the right decisions in this case. And I want you to think of it as the battle where other people are after us. They want to take our money. They want to outsmart us. They want to be more patient. They want to be more disciplined. And they want to get more rewarded than us. Everyone is out to hurt us because where there's pain in the market, there's gain from other traders. Are we doing everything to protect our capital, or are we just giving it away? And the sad reality of this is a lot of traders are just giving their money away, and they don't practice trade or risk management, and their account is just getting destroyed. They're on the battlefield and their money is just getting killed, and their account is just keep depleting every single day. They're getting weaker and weaker. So I want you all to train and prepare yourself. Would you go into the battle not being equipped with the right tools and having proper strength mentally? The person that's going into the fight in the war with a pocket knife is not going to beat the guy with a gun. And a lot of people are entering the stock market with a pocket knife when they're trading against other traders who have the gun. To do this, to combat this and get better, we must trade with an edge. If you've seen my other videos, I stress this a lot. I'm very repetitive with this because traders do not have an edge. I don't understand it, but they don't have a proper strategy that they know when they see their trigger signals or the market trigger their signals, they know to put the trade on. A lot of people are trading without an edge. They don't have a proper strategy. And for me, supply and demand with price and volume analysis is my edge. And it makes me equipped with the cannon in war or the machine gun, ready to stop whatever's in front of me. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I get hurt. But I know I have trade and risk management, that I'm not just giving my money away, and I'm protecting myself when I am incorrect. Market psychology is very important as well. Understand what the opponents are doing. Think of it as a battlefield. You know, if we know the enemy is coming from behind us and going to ambush us, then we're going to be equipped with the tools to stop this if we know this information before it happens. We could know some information with our edge before the market displays it. This is with price and volume analysis because it gives us this organic price action in real time as soon as we see it. If we're buying something, we want to know where sellers are selling. And if we're selling something, we want to know where buyers are buying. This gives us a serious edge in itself. A lot of the market moves because of emotional decisions, where traders are getting stopped out at. How many trades have you put on where you were in a long position, the market dipped down, you stopped out of your long, and then the market reversed up and your analysis would have been correct? That's called a stop loss hunt. And that's knowing where your opponent is trading if we're on the other side of the spectrum. And we have a serious edge in that ourselves. In this case, right, so we have a supply zone here. And the concept is we're looking to short inside of supply. We're not looking to really get long. There's some occasions to that rule. We see the market consolidating here inside of supply. We put a first high in, the market dips down. And now we kind of have like a wedge, right? Where we're putting in lower highs, we're putting in higher lows. Then the market starts coming up. And this break right here, if you were watching this in real time, I'm not going to lie. When this candle was at the high, this looked ready to break out past the previous high and continue to skyrocket, right? But if we're inside of supply, we know sellers have the advantage on the battlefield here. We have no reason being long. In fact, look for areas to get short. If we know a lot of traders are looking to long a high at daybreak, especially inside of a supply zone, where would their stop loss be? Or just where are they buying? So now I know a lot of traders are long. We kind of get confirmation because very high buying volume over here. So now we have no traders are long. Where are they going to be in the most pain? Because when other traders are in the most pain, this is when we get the most gain. Then the market starts moving down. Maybe traders stop out here. We reject this supply zone. We put in a double top. We break the wedge, and we have an all-day sell-off. So just from this example, knowing a lot of traders are getting long inside of supply, some are trapped at the highs, we break the wedge, selling pressure continues. You can see very high volume. Then we get that continuation move. And this is just understanding our opponents, where they're buying and selling to give us an edge on the battlefield. Now we must remove every emotional decision. Like I said earlier, we're humans. We can't remove emotions from ourselves. It's impossible. But we got to remove the bad, negative, emotional things that spark up our decision-making process. So to do this, before each trade is put on, you have to know, this is vital. You have to know where you're wrong. This is your stop loss. This is where your analysis is going to be incorrect. A lot of people put their stop loss based on a dollar amount or a percent amount, which is fine because you adjust your position size for that. However, where our analysis is incorrect based off of the chart is where we put the stop loss. And then we gauge our position size according to that. I'll show you what I mean with this trade I took. But then we also have to know where we're going to be right. And this is our target. These two components are known before the trade is put on. So in this case, this is an actual trade that I took on the S&P last week. I played the SPY 410 calls, I want to say. And I like how we hit the 4085 demand zone. This was according to our pre-market plan in the Discord. 4085, we hit this demand zone, and then the market started moving up with heavy buying pressure from that zone. As soon as I saw the nice green candle come through, aggressive prints came through on the time and sales. If we watch the time and sales, aggressive prints came through, coincided with obviously heavy buying pressure, and I took the market long. Where my analysis was incorrect on this trade was the low. So I was risking about 7 points, maybe 8 points to make, if my target was 4115, about 20 points on this trade, let's just call it. So pretty good risk to reward ratio. But what's vital here is I knew that if the market came down and hit my stop loss below the low, my analysis was going to be incorrect. And I knew before I put the trade on that if the market came to 4115, that was my target and that's where I was going to sell. A lot of people can't do that and they don't know where they're wrong or they're going to be right on the chart. But when we do this, we literally feel and think of nothing. After we press the buy or sell button, nothing goes through my head. This is something that I see a lot of people struggle with, is if they're in a position, right? Let's just say we're in long right here. Then the market starts coming up and then we see a red candle. Maybe at one point it was a little lower. Everybody starts freaking out. They see a little red. They think of red. Okay, the market's coming down. I'm freaking out. I don't want to lose on this trade. I'm up maybe $200. I'm going to sell here, right? That's thinking and that's feeling something where these emotions prevent us from making the right decisions and trading what's right in front of us. And what was right in front of us was this chart was extremely bullish. And if we held and stuck to our plan, didn't feel or think of anything, we hit our target in a 5-minute trade. I made over 60% on this trade. Very fast movement. And if we could do this and eliminate our thoughts and feelings, we have a high chance of eliminating the emotional, irrational decision-making process that a lot of traders struggle with and prevent them from success. I see it all the time. Think of it like this. You cannot control the market. You really can't. The outcome is going to happen no matter what you do or no matter what you don't do. The market is going to do whatever it wants to do. But what we can control is ourselves. That is the only thing we can control. Once you could accept this and know that if we can control ourselves, we could trade at the highest level, a lot changes. Let the trade play out. The worst is known, right? I knew if I was wrong on this analysis, I was only going to lose about 7 or 8 points. And if we're trading SPY calls, maybe that was 30 cents, 35 cents at most on each contract. So $35 a contract. And I knew if we hit my target, I don't know what price it's going to be at, but I know my risk to reward stands on the chart. And maybe, okay, we hit the target. I sold 90% of my position. Then the market just skyrockets and I get another 30, 40 points on the S&P and my contracts go up 200% instead of 60%. We don't know the outcome, but how we have to set ourselves up is know that the worst could happen and know what the worst will be and leave the best to be unknown and make sure it's infinite, right? And how we solve any trading problem, now that you're aware of all these things, you have to become aware of these problems and then make a conscious effort to fix and change the problem in our trading routine. We have to enforce new positive habits. A lot of people, for some reason, think that one day they're just going to wake up and they're going to come on the market and they're going to be a better trader. No, we have to be aware of what the issue is and then make a conscious effort to fix it and change it and install positive habits in our trading. It's the only way it's going to work. It's not going to be magic. And when you trade with an edge and you have confidence, when you see the setup, it makes you take the trade without hesitation. It's a no-brainer for me to take a setup like this. I know that I'm not going to win 100% of the time, but I know if I'm going to be wrong, I know what I'm going to lose, and I know I have a high chance of winning on this setup because it's my edge and it's a setup that I've tested that has worked out for me more often than not, where my risk is small and my reward is extremely, extremely high. We plan the trade, we let the trade plan out, and then everything we do from that moment on is out of our control. Once we could accept that anything that we do try to control other than ourselves is going to be out of our control, then we know we're going to get in the way of what's truly supposed to happen. And when we force the process, we're not letting what's supposed to happen actually happen. And that's like us going on the battlefield, not prepared, not in control, and our account is going to get killed and our money is just going to keep depleting. So with going back to our money now, we have to detach ourselves from it. This is very key. And I'm not going to lie, once I detached myself from the money and detached myself from the results, I became such a better trader because money is one of the worst enemies in life and in trading. It makes us evil. It makes us greedy. It makes us fearful. Money is one of the worst enemies. And this is something that just boosts our ego and really doesn't make us the trader for ourselves. It makes us the trader for something that will boost our ego and make us happy. The money screws with our mind, whether we're making it or losing it. I've exited trades that I should never have exited on, but I was scared to lose money. And I've entered trades because I wanted to make money. Once you could remove these two things and get the money out of the picture, you trade so much better. I don't know what it is, but money is the root of all evil in the market, especially. Write this quote down, tattoo it on your forehead. I don't trade the market to make money. I trade the market to trade my setups because my setups is what makes me money. That is very key. I don't wake up, roll out of bed, get to my office and say, okay, I'm going to make 10,000 today. I wake up and say, okay, I'm going to follow my process. I'm going to have a plan. I'm going to respect my risk and I'm going to trade my edge. If I don't see a setup, I'm not going to trade the market. But as soon as I see my setup, I know I have a high edge and a high probability of making money and me making profits. To make money, we can't want to make this money. We have to fix this mindset. Stop wanting to make money. We're obviously in this to make money and gain freedom in our lives. That's why everybody does trade, to do what we like to do. But we can't want to make money, especially when first starting out, and especially when we don't have an edge or system that we know is going to consistently make us money with high winners and small losers. So stop trying to want to make money. And it's a shame because a lot of people in the industry flaunt cars, flaunt cash, watches, vacations, lifestyles, and it gives this bad image to other new beginner traders that are in it solely for the money. And ones that do trade solely for the money are going to be the first ones out of the market. The quicker you come into the market, the quicker you're going to leave it. Believe me. A lot of people have a fear of losing, fear of missing out, fear of a green train turning red, and the fear of being wrong. Going back to this example, or actually I could go to another example. Let's go to a 5-minute chart on the S&P. And I'm just showing you the S&P just because it's very easy for me to explain. Obviously, I take trades on other equities and stuff like that. But this was a setup a few weeks ago. And the market broke the low again, stopped out a bunch of longs, heavy selling pressure. Obviously, in this case, we have a lot of traders who are fearing, expecting the market to come down, whether they're entering a new short position or stopping out of a long position. This is just going to fuel more buying once those sellers cover, especially below the low. But let's just say the market started coming up, right? And we didn't take the trade long. We see it all the way up here, and we see it break the high. We see it break or come right near pre-market highs. And for some reason, we get in this trade up here. We didn't get in at demand because we were fearful. Now we see the market come up. We get greedy. We enter this position. We see the consolidation. We see the market start heading lower. And we had the fear of missing out, which made us enter this position. Then the market starts coming down. We have the fear of losing. We stop out of this trade. And then the market keeps going up. And we have these, emotions going crazy. We could have just made $5,000. I entered late. I should have entered at demand. Or maybe I got in long earlier. Actually, I think I took this trade. I got long at demand. Yeah, I did take this trade. This was actually a losing trade. Nothing wrong with it. I'm more than happy to show you my losers. You learn more from them than the winners. I got long at demand on this candle, actually, when it came up, expecting it to break out. Now I'm long, risk below the low, tight risk. Immediately we get a dump. I stop out of this trade, and then we keep reversing up. But I'm not upset because I followed my plan. This was my edge. It just did not agree with my analysis at that time. And then the market started to keep going up. I didn't have the fear of, missing out and entering on an extended move to the upside. These are all emotions that either try to protect us or try to boost our ego and make us happy. And I see a lot of traders risking way too much money and have so much on the line without an edge or a system. That's like going to fight without body armor or going to fight without, the right tools that's going to save you if you are wrong and if you do take a bullet. And they're risking way too much money and they're getting destroyed on one trade. It's wiping away half their account. It makes no sense to me. Why? Stop risking so much and stop trading with so much money, especially if you're a beginner and especially if you're new to it. If you've watched the video so far to my past points, you would know that we shouldn't be risking this much money because we're detaching ourselves from it. So how to become detached from the money. Traders fail because they don't have risk management and they don't have an edge. I made a video on this maybe 2 weeks ago. Have a plan based off of your edge. Be prepared for the worst to happen and for you to lose on the trade. I go in with the expectation that the worst is going to happen. And if anything is better than the worst, then it's a win in my opinion. But anything that is worse than the worst is a really bad trade. Trade with small size until you're consistent. If you have $1,000 account, you would trade the same way on a $100,000 account. A lot of people don't for some reason. The way I trade right now with my account size, it is a very large account size, is the same way that I was trading when I first became consistent with a $3,000 account. It's the same thing. The only thing that's different is I'm adding a couple more zeros to my position size when I enter a position. It's the only thing. I'm still trading the same way. I'm still focusing on my emotions. I'm still entering and exiting when I should be. The only thing that's different is instead of buying maybe, let's just say 10 contracts, I'm adding another zero to it. It's the same thing, Remain disciplined and stop gambling. So I'm going to end the video on that note. I hope you learned something. I hope you're enjoying the new face cam. I would appreciate any feedback on this. If you have any questions about the content so far, comment them, drop a like on this video, and definitely check out the links in the description below. I offer a very in-depth and educational course. It is very focused on psychology and learning a proper strategy. So definitely check it out in the link in the description below. But I'll see you all at the next video. Peace out.